Hello, everybody. It's Brian, and I am back from camping. I've actually been back for a few days now, but it's taken me a while to sit down and make this video, partly because I was catching up with other videos in the vinyl community, and I have to say, you guys make a lot of videos, so it's been challenging. I've been going through those, and I'm not really caught up. I don't know if I can catch up to everything, but it's been fun trying. And now I went camping, and that was real camping. We did have a car, but it involved cooking over a camp stove, building campfires, carrying all the things you need for a day at the beach over the sand dunes, swimming in the very cold water, and then carrying them all back, that kind of thing. So it was a bit of a challenge, and I mentioned that because I was watching a video by Jack, the Vinyl Martini, and he had also gone camping. And I have to say that he has a different strategy for camping. I think he said he played golf 3 times. He went record shopping while he was camping. I've never heard of such a thing. So let me just say that that's some sort of luxury camping experience right there. Not like my camping experience. So I'm going to do some recent finds. These are things I picked up probably since the last time I did, maybe somewhere before the last one, but I've brought these all together. And let's just show you what I've gotten recently. So let's start with Sloan. This is one chord to another. Let me just say a few things about Sloan before I talk about this record. They're a band that's originally from Halifax. They've been around for over 30 years, and I think the recorded output goes back to the very early 90s. Well-known Canadian band. There's a few things that are very interesting about the band. One is that in all that time, the lineup has never changed. The same lineup right from the beginning. That's Patrick Pentland, Chris Murphy, Jay Ferguson, and Andrew Scott are the 4 original members who are still members to this day. They're very well regarded here in Canada. They have a very devoted fan base. You might say fanatical, but the fan base is very devoted. They are consistently great. Even AllMusic, a site I look at from time to time, gives all their records 4 or 4.5 stars. And I often disagree with ratings on AllMusic, but they've given very good rankings, or ratings, I should say. They are a rock band, you might say alternative or indie, maybe with a touch of new wave, a bit of psychedelia in the music, lots of memorable hooks, great melodies. And there's a 60s guitar sound through much of their albums, which is really interesting. Now, this record, One Chord to Another, is from 1996. It's the 3rd record. Now, I might be so bold as to say this is their best record. Again, it's hard to say because their output is so consistently great. A song that you may know is The Good in Everyone. It was a single, at least it was up here. Everything You've Done Wrong, the Lines You Amend. Now that song especially, like this album has a bit of a Beatlesque quality to it. I think it was deliberate that they wanted to harken back a bit to the Beatles. Not really a copy of the Beatles, but you'll hear it in certain places. And I think that song in particular really reminds me of the Beatles. So this is a great record. If you don't know Sloan, this is a good place to start. If you do know them and don't have it, you should check this out. It won the Juno Award, which is like the Grammy Award for the best alternative record in 1997. I think Chart Magazine also did a reader's poll, and this came in number 9th as best Canadian record of all time. So really, really strong record. There's an insert with this. This has an essay by Chico T. Sanchez, who calls himself a rockologist. There's an image, and there's some lyrics in here. Yeah, really good record. This is the vinyl for people who like to see the labels. There we go. So yeah, excellent, outstanding record from Sloan, a band I really, really like quite a lot. So second record, Sloan, Never Hear the End of It. This is a double record from 2006. 76 minutes long. I have the CD for this, and I have to tell you, the first time I heard it, it was like, wow, never hear the end of it is true. This record will never end. Again, such a great record. I think Steve at All the World's a Stage showed this CD once. I'm pretty sure about that. So, the funny thing is, I'm going to keep saying, like I said with the last record, outstanding. It's so good. Who Taught You to Live Like That is a song that you may have heard. What else? Ill-Placed Trust is another one that might have been on the radio. I've Got to Try, maybe that one was on the radio. the inner sleeve, and this is on 2 pieces of black vinyl. So we have on disc 1, it has a pink label and kind of a yellow label. And I'd say, as I said, there's no duds in the Sloan record collection, and there's no duds on this record. This record, all the songs are really good. Like, it's really interesting that they could write so consistently really great songs, and this is a good one to have. Third record for today is from Sloan, and this is Sloan 12, the 12th record from 1988. And again, I have to say it again, like, 12th record and it's still great. This is top shelf power pop. So good. Spin Our Wheels is the first track, which was a single, I believe. Such depth to this record. Right to Rome is great. 44 Teenagers. It's all really, really good. The inner sleeve. I guess you could say they're looking a bit older here, but it's many years later. And the record itself, the orange theme continues to the pressing. We have orange vinyl. So this was the 12th record from 1988, as I think I mentioned. No, 2018. All right, let's move on. I've done 3. I got 4 more records. Sloan, B-Sides Win, Volume 1, 1992 to 1997. They had a compilation called A-Sides Win, which had all their singles and that sort of thing. So this is a collection of some B-sides from this period of time and some extra tracks, bonus stuff, for example. So the most notable track here is side A, track 1, which is called Underwhelmed, which was their first hit. Now, this is the Here and Now version. Back in Halifax, they entered a music competition. What was it, like a Battle of the Bands kind of thing. They didn't win, but that song was chosen for the record that came out, and they re-recorded it for their first record. Now, the funny thing is they didn't win that competition, and I've always wondered who won, because it seems like they couldn't have been as successful as Sloan were. In fact, in the notes here, Chris talks about the fact that they wish they had won, but yeah, so it has notes here on the tracks. Like, the funny one for me is Same Old Flame. Patrick says, I have no recollection of recording this. That's fantastic. This is a limited edition of 1,200 copies on blue vinyl. So this is really great to have. Some things were, I think, deliberately recorded as B-sides, and other things were just things that ended up on B-sides, but it has the record, it has the lyrics and little notes about each track. And wow, like, look how young they look there. It's fantastic. Next record is Sloan, B-Sides Win, Volume 2, 1998 to 2001. Same as the last one, things that were on B-sides, or here we have a Russian futurist version of Are You Giving Me Back My Love, etc. So that's kind of cool. Same deal with the last one. There's like little notes about each track with the lyrics and, where they originally appeared. This is also a limited edition of 1,200 copies on this colored vinyl. This was 2021, the last one was 2020. I don't know, was that sort of almost purple? And again, this is great. Nice to hear songs that didn't make it onto the records. Again, they look youthful there. So that's kind of cool. Moving on to the next record that I want to talk about, and that is from Sloan. And this one's an original. So this dates back a while. In 2013, they put out a hardcore 7-inch with 2 tracks. It's In You, It's In Me, and Jenny. The rest of the tracks were cover versions. And so in 2021, they released the vinyl pressing of this. This was originally, or only available through their website, but one store in Toronto did have some copies. Those are all sold out, and the web store is sold out, so there's none left. 1,200 copies. And this is the inner sleeve, and 1,200 copies on this clear vinyl, so you might have a hard time finding this now. And just to give you a sense of what they were doing on this record, I mentioned their 2 original songs, but these are the cover versions they did. We have Gas Chamber by Angry Samoans, Filler by Minor Threat, the cover Gimme So Poor by Angry Samoans, Bully by 7 Seconds, Retrospect by Grey Matter, Catalina by The Descendants, Fountains by The Nils, This is The Angry Part 2 by 7 Seconds, Hot Cars by Angry Samoans, Nervous Breakdown, Black Flag, Wasted, Black Flag, We're Only Gonna Die by Bad Religion. So they covered those tracks. That gives you a sense of what they were doing on this record. And I think it's pretty cool. It actually works really well. But maybe hard to find now. And the last record for today, last of the 7, is Slow and Steady from 2022. Now, this is a fantastic record. Now, the funny thing is I didn't have it in 2022, and if I did have it, it would have made my 2022 best of list. So I might have to redo that because some record is going to be pushed off that list. This is such good songwriting. Magical Thinking, the opening song, is really fantastic. Spend the Day is great. I mean, they're all great. I mean, like, there's 4. I think there were 4 singles from here, and they're all fantastic. This is the inner sleeve, and this one is on this kind of purple, dark purple vinyl. There were other colors as well, but this is really fantastic. Now, you might be wondering, why did I buy all these Sloan records at once? And the fact is, if you live in Toronto or you're aware of the music industry, you may know that for the last couple of years, Sloan has had a garage sale. So the idea is you go to a certain date and time were mentioned, you go to Chris Murphy's house, you go to the lane behind his house, join the line by his garage, and I think it was at 11 or 12 a.m. The door goes up and there's the band with the giant merch table and music playing. I had to wait in line for about 2 hours to get to the table. In that time, though, I managed to speak to Chris Murphy for maybe 15 or 20 minutes. We had a conversation. I went up to the table and chose what I wanted. The good news is these were a lot cheaper than you would find in a record store, significantly cheaper. And I didn't know that Never Hear the End of It was actually repressed. So that's the first time I saw it. I thought, wow, is this an original? But it's the repressing, which was fine. But the prices were good. They had t-shirts, they had posters, that kind of thing. And so people were taking photographs with the band, and they were getting autographs. I didn't actually get any autographs, but I I had a couple of conversations with band members, and I picked up a few things. Now, one of the things I got from the web store, and one other one, B-Sides Win Volume 1, I got at a record store, but everything else I got at the garage sale, which was kind of fun. Hopefully they have it next year, because maybe there'll be other things that I am still missing. Several things were never released on vinyl, so maybe they'll be out by then. So anyway, now I'm into the portion where I'm rambling. But thanks very much for watching, and I'll talk to you next time.